I'm Kara, and I'm a librarian at the Community Library of DeWitt in Janesville. Welcome to our weekly web series called Learn with Your Librarian. Today, I am going to walk you through the steps on how to access and download Libby by Overdrive. Libby is our online digital collection. It allows you to borrow and download library audiobooks, ebooks, and more onto your smartphone, tablet, or laptop. So whether you're looking for a relaxing read for your Kindle or you are looking for an audiobook for your iPhone, Libby is the app for you. Let's dig in. The first step is to download Libby from your device's app store. I'm using an iPhone, so I am going to go to the App Store. If you have an Android phone, your app store is called Google Play. In your app store, you're going to search for Libby by Overdrive. At the top here is actually an ad for Amazon, and we can ignore that. You'll need to click the blue download cloud icon in order for the app to install. You also may need to enter in your Apple ID or phone password to download the app. Since I've had it downloaded before, it didn't ask me for that information. You can access the installed app by clicking Open or by going back to your phone's home screen and finding the little icon for the app Libby. When you open the app, the first question it will ask is, do you have a library card? If you don't have a library card, we are offering virtual library card signups via the Onondaga County Public Library's homepage. That is www.onlib.org. If you do have a library card, press yes. Next, I recommend clicking I'll search for a library to link your library card. Here, you'll want to search for the Community Library of DeWitt in Janesville. Click on the library's name in order to select it. Then, on this page, enter in your library account details. Enter in your card details and then press Next. All cards should start with 298. Then you'll be prompted to put in your 4-digit PIN number. If you don't know your PIN number, visit our website, www.cldnj.org, and look under our services section of the website. We actually have a library account PIN reset guide available for you to check out if you need to reset your PIN number. Once you put your PIN number in, click Sign In, and that will lead you directly to Libby's homepage. Alright, so now that we're logged in, I want to provide a brief overview of the app's homepage so you can feel comfortable navigating its features. First, this big middle section here contains an overview of new additions to the digital collection, featured collections curated by librarians, and popular titles. Besides this middle section, there are 4 other features that are important to point out to you all. The first is the search feature on the top left-hand corner of the screen. And I will actually model a search in a few minutes, so just hang tight. More details to come. The second important feature is this little icon on the top right-hand side of the page. This icon links to your account settings. Here, you can manage your notifications or add additional library cards if you happen to split your borrowing between different library systems. Like, for example, I know that some patrons who live in Cazenovia belong to both the OCPL system and the Mid-York library system. Libby allows you to put both cards on the same account. You may have a wider selection of materials that way. The settings also have a wonderful help and support section to continue your learning, and I recommend checking that out. Thirdly, we can look down in the bottom left-hand corner to where it says Library. If you ever click on Library, it will bring you back to the home page so that you can search for new items and see an overview of the collection. Finally, pay special attention to the bottom right-hand corner of the page where it says Shelf. Your shelf is home to all of the items that you have borrowed and a list of the items you have on hold. You can go to your shelf to read or listen to items that you have borrowed. I'll go over this a bit more in depth later on. So now let's jump into an example search so I can teach you how to borrow items using Libby. To search for a title, click the magnifying glass at the top of the page. Here, you can type in a title, an author, whatever you'd like. What I do recommend is clicking more options there. This will allow you to narrow down your search results by title, by author, by subject. You can also decide which format you'd like to borrow. So we have ebooks, audiobooks, magazines, or read-along books. You can also change the language, audience, the compatibility. Another feature that I love that we can change is the availability. Sadly, there are a limited number of copies based on licensing and publishing rules. It's just like when the library is open and you want to take out a physical book, there may be a hold request on it because it's popular. That is the same case with Libby. Therefore, if you want to find a book that is available now, click Availability, Everything, and change everything to Available Now. When you're ready to search, click the button here. I'm going to search for Jane Austen's Persuasion. I can either type it in here or up at the top, and it will save the options that you put in below. Here you can see a list of all the different versions of Persuasion available in Libby. There are a couple things I want to point out here. The first option is an ebook. You can tell because it says read sample instead of play sample. Underneath is an example of an audiobook. An audiobook will have little headphones as an icon symbol, and it will give you an option to play a sample of the audiobook. You can borrow a book by clicking this button here, or you can touch the cover image of the book and press borrow from that page. If this button appears, it means that all copies are being used and you will need to place a hold on the item. Libby will tell you exactly how long you'll have to wait for the hold, how many digital copies are in the system, and how many people are also waiting for the item. If you want to go ahead and place a hold, you will click this green button here. Today, I'm going to go back and borrow an available copy to show you what that looks like. When you click Borrow, you can see the loan period for the book. Libby automatically sets the loan period for 14 days, but depending on the item, you can adjust it to 7 or 21 days. I'm going to leave it for 14 days and click Borrow. To start reading the title immediately, click Open Book or Audiobook here. To go back to the last screen before checkout and keep searching for books, tap Keep Browsing. You can also do this at any time by clicking the magnifying glass at the top of the screen or the arrow that points to the left at the top of the screen. To look at all of your borrowed books and holds, click Go to Shelf. All of the titles that you have borrowed or put on hold will be listed under the shelf. You can always come back to your shelf, whether you're on the home page or you're searching, by clicking the bottom right-hand corner of the screen where it says shelf. The shelf lists the loans that you have out. So if I click that, you can see my Persuasion by Jane Austen. And with your loans, it will tell you how many days you have until the item is due, and gives you the ability to click on the item and start reading. To renew your item, click Manage Loan and click Renew Loan. It won't let me do it because I just got it out. I'll be able to renew it in 11 days. But typically, as long as there's no hold on it, you are able to click that Renew Loan button. There's also a return early button if you finish within the 14 days of the checkout period. You also have an option to send to a device, which means you can send to your Kindle or send to an Adobe e-reader. You can also use the shelf to access your holds. You can see how many items that you have on hold, how much time it will take for the item to be available. You can play a sample or read a sample of the item. And you can also click this Manage Hold button here to cancel it or suspend it. So if you know that you're going on vacation or have a busy couple of weeks coming up, you can go ahead and suspend the hold for up to 180 days. All right, now that I have shown you how to download, search, and borrow items within Libby, there's one last trick I want to share with you all. Anytime you want to go back a screen, just swipe your finger across the screen to the right, and it will bring you back to the home page. Thank you so much for watching our tutorial today. If you have any further questions, feel free to email us at reference@cldnj.org or by signing up for one of our tech how-to help sessions that are available on our website. Thanks! We'll see you next time.